when the live comes on, it's like halfway in the middle of a comment, like just now. That's the way it's got to be every single week. Every single week.
Well, it's better than that than when you're halfway through a shock or the other thing.
Or a dab, chocolate. What is that? I don't know. The GIF is out there. The GIF is out there.
Yeah, I was going to say, let's not.
Or GIF, whichever you use.
Let's not re-torment ourselves.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the after party, #after party with myself and the associate producer himself, Paigey. Is here.
Hello, I'm the associate producer of Zack Snyder's Justice League. I'm your co-host for the evening. Get woke.
Oh, geez. Would you want to be associate producer for that? I mean, let's.
No, pretty much. If I ever see a bad take on a DC thing online, about 90.
Here we go.
94.3% of the time, they have associate producer of Zack Snyder's Justice League in their bio. So,
okay. All right. There we go.
Due to that, and this being the theme, get ready for some bad takes.
It's gonna be, what is it? Bad Take Tuesday is that what we're calling it? I guess. Maybe. Okay. So we have 3 things we're going to be talking about today, primarily. I mean, of course, you guys can ask whatever questions you want, but the 3 things we're going to be discussing is the Stargirl finale. That's the big one. We're going to talk about the shift in DC Comics and how this may affect like all comic books, including Marvel and independent publishers and everything. And we're going to talk about Ruby Rose. She made some more statements about why she is no longer Batwoman, and we'll talk a little bit about that and give our opinions about that. We don't know how that's going to line up there, but the thing is, if you're watching this on playback, careful for spoilers because we're going to be talking about the finale. And if you guys don't want to be spoiled, then obviously there you go.
The first thing, I don't know if anyone saw. I did post it on Twitter. I have the video. I have the ad. Obviously, I can't put it on here. Actually, technically, I could.
You could, yes, technically. What is?
Hold on. Give me 2 seconds.
Does it have music? Tell me it doesn't have
No, it has no music. I don't think the music would play. If anything, I would all right. I would shut it up.
All right.
Shut up and drive.
I'm afraid. There we go. Look, see, already. I said something about music, and there you go. Immediately. While you're looking for that, Chalk King, $2 super chat. Thank you so much, you guys. When I saw the DC over title, it scared me. It is a little bit scary what we're going to talk about. It is scary if you're a big fan of like.
Would you say it's #spooky?
Spooky, yes, absolutely. It deals with comics. If you're a reader of print comics and collectibles, it could probably be scary. Okay. But we'll see. We'll see where it goes. Let's Tom, don't hold your breath for that, by the way. Ben, hello. He goes, what is this about Ruby Rose? We're going to talk about it. She made statements about her leaving Batwoman, and we're going to talk about those as well. So get ready. So is this it?
Yeah, click it.
Okay. All right. There we go.
I'll take the music down. Ooh, you can see my mouse. Woo.
What is this? Sneak peek. Oh, it's a DC fandom sneak peek video.
Yeah.
Experience. All right. Here we go. What is all this? Explore the multiverse. Is this going to be a troll? Is this a troll, Kobe?
First look, Tuesday, August 18th. So next week on the fan. So this will come out, and then we can talk about whatever they show on the after party next week.
Oh, that's perfect timing then.
Yeah,
that'll be great.
Yeah.
All right, sounds good to me. Yeah, I'm excited about fandom, but I'm not excited about the news from DC. So we're going to get into that first. We're going to talk about that first and get it out of the way. The DC is over thing. All right. So
imagine if that video was the first OnlyFans video, the thong song reaction.
Oh, geez. No.
Exclusive first look.
So I'm looking at the article here. This is from Beat Culture, but it's all over the place. There's tons of articles about this. So DC Comics, the actual comic division, they laid off 600 plus people. Most of them are high-ranking editors and people that work in the actual like marketing division and creative division. This includes the actual print comics and the collectibles. So like the toys and things that come out. So they've laid off, 600 people. How big do you think DC's print division is? It can't be I mean, 600 seems like a huge amount of people.
Well, I think a lot of it is tied to their DC Universe people as well. I think that's where the good. I don't know how many people worked at DC Universe, but they said the majority of the staff. So I don't know how many people were employed into that DC Universe faction, if you want to call it. But the editorial, they only fired a third, so I don't know how this equals 600. I don't know. It's a bit confusing, but obviously there was mass layoffs, so the number sounds realistic. But I don't know exactly if there was more divisions that they just didn't bring up, or like subdivisions and stuff. So it's a bit confusing.
And somebody's asking in the chat, what was the reason for this? I didn't see any real reason. Just a shift in goals for the company.
I think pretty much the best way to look at it, it's like breaking down a like sort of like relaying out the foundations by the sounds of it. So they're pretty much they're going to completely restructure what DC Comics has always been. It's just pretty much how you build a comics brand or a comics office. It sounds like they're completely restructuring it, which could either be the greatest idea ever, even though at the current time it sounds really bad. So it's either going to be the best move that they've made in a long while, or it's going to be 5 years down the track disaster and they go back to what they had, but they have to build up again.
Now, didn't you say they were looking for like an esports person to basically run a division of the comics, which is
they're looking for they're looking to hire a general manager of DC Comics, which is crazy because general manager, there's never been a general manager, so they're making a position up or putting this a new elite position for DC Comics, and they're looking for an esports person. I don't see the correlation.
Yeah,
and they're saying that they don't want editors. I'm like, you need editors. You need like at least
absolutely
there.
Yeah. I mean, this is literally. I mean, it seems like to me, what comics we are going to get are going to be shifted to digital. We're going to get like reprints on the print side, but then everything else will be probably digital, at least soon. Like maybe not right away, but soon.
The way I heard it was I can't remember who. I think it might have been Deadline or the Hollywood Reporter put it out, but from the way it sounds, is that they're DC shifting single issues, so weekly comics, to digital, which is, I think, smart, to be completely honest. Like, I think just on consumer base, it's smarter to do that. So they're still going to give out physical copies, but they're going to be reduced numbers until the point where they weed them out. So it'll get smaller and smaller and smaller over time, and just try and drive people to buy the digital comics of either Comixology, or it's not going to surprise me in the slightest if DC makes their own thing where you can buy the comics there.
I was just going to say, so my first thought when I read this was, we know that HBO Max is gobbling up between HBO Max, Netflix, and the CW. The DC Universe shows are getting gobbled up into other places. The one thing that you and I think we both agreed on is I use the DC Universe app for comics. Like, that's what I do. I don't watch as many shows on there as I do read comics. I love the way their comics are set up in that app. So I think driving people to the digital side of it is probably what they want to do, because that way they can just transform that app into a comic book app and then move all the shows to HBO Max.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. Like all this, I think they're going to keep I don't know if they're going to like rebrand the comic app from DC Universe to something else, because I don't know if they want to keep the DC Universe name.
Right.
I don't know what you'd call it though, unless it's called it just DC Digital. Like that works, I guess. But
and they could offer like a certain amount for one price, and then you could still buy new issues through the app.
I think what a good idea for them to do would be, you offer a service like Comixology does, or Unlimited, where you can read all these old comics for, which would just be the standard subscription amount, which is like, let's just say $5 a month, and you can go read Kingdom Come or all these comics. Like they break it off where once a comic's been out for a year, it goes on there into that service. But then, so that's $5, but then they could make you they could charge you, I know it sounds a lot, but if you're a comic reader and you buy multiple comics a month, it's actually not that expensive, but they charge $30 a month and you get every comic that comes out.
Yeah.
And I think that'd be a smart model. That you might be thinking, oh, well, someone might buy $60 worth of comics a month or something, so they're getting a bargain.
Yeah.
But then you might get someone who, let's be honest, just leaves their subscription going and just it builds up, and they might only read like 1 or 2 comics a week.
Yeah.
So for them, they're getting under. So it'll average out to the point where if you charge 30, it's probably a good amount.
Yeah. Staggervore here with the 4.99 super chat, just basically saying what we were saying. I think DC Universe may either fold or just be a section of HBO Max. I think you're absolutely right, and I totally agree with that, and I feel the same way. So we'll keep an eye on this, guys. We'll talk more about it. If you guys have more questions or concerns about it, go ahead.
The thing that needs to be brought up is that I've seen a lot of people saying, "Oh my god, why is this happening to specifically DC?" The exact same thing is going to happen to Marvel soon.
Yeah,
there's like it's just a period where the exact same thing is going to happen.
We're seeing a shift because print comics aren't doing what they used to do.
Yeah, but the thing is that DC set the precedent, or the precedent, however you want to call it. So it's about
cicada. Go ahead.
Yeah, pretty much tomato. It's about whether they follow exactly what DC is doing or they go their own way. Because it's important to remember. I've said this before. Marvel keeps books running that is selling terribly because they provide source material for their movies.
Right.
They keep Marvel going,
and I believe
it because it's pretty much like hiring a writer, or just like a brainstorming session. But then you're also making some profit back on the site because people buy. Like the biggest example is Captain Marvel. That book never sells. It always comes out, no one buys it, and they redo it. Yeah. But Disney would keep doing Captain Marvel because now they have Captain Marvel in the movies. Yeah. So if you can get someone that comes in, they get a really good story, then they can interpret that in the movies. So it's pretty much like getting just like a brainstorming session, just getting all these ideas flowing. So they're willing to pay. It's Disney. They're gajillionaires. Yeah.
It's sort of like the same thing as just sitting around a round table and throwing out ideas, except they're giving them a creative outlet to do it. So it's basically the same thing.
Yeah.
I was going to say, though, that I feel like Marvel may watch to see how DC does this, like how it's going to work for them before they make that step.
Because to be honest, the DC Universe app absolutely poos on the Marvel Unlimited. Marvel Unlimited sucks. It honestly sucks. I've just got it sitting there and I never touch it.
I mean, I use it, but it's a bad. Yeah, it's the UI is really bad.
It's so bad.
It's so clunky. Like, it doesn't really work really well.
Like on DC
you can only download like 10 issues at a time. It's bad.
Yeah, like DC Universe, if you're interested in a character, you go there, it just gives you their storyline, exactly where to start and where it ends.
The worst thing Marvel, about you have to like type in the exact title of the comic you want.
Marvel, you're going on the Great Escapade. Yeah. Jesus Christ.
You actually have to look things up on Wiki and then go into the Marvel app to find it because
it's terrible.
The title's bad. Yeah, it's bad. So, but anyway, we'll talk more about that later on if we have questions and stuff. Scott Edwards here with the 4.99 super chat. How would you rank White Canary and Supergirl in your favorite Arrowverse hero list? Well, for me, I've always put White Canary in my top 5. Sometimes she's in my top 3. It really just depends on how I'm feeling. She's definitely a top 5 character for me. Supergirl would be a top 10 character for me, but she's not my favorite. I'm thinking she would probably be either right in the top 5 at number 5 or 6 for me. What about you? Any thoughts on that? You feel like ranking those for the people?
I have no idea. I have no idea. Like Sarah used to be one of my favorites, but then like Legends got a bit how you going.
That's why she's dropped out of my top 3. That's the only reason why.
I don't know. And then like Stargirl's come in, and most of the female characters there sort of go off the list. And
Stargirl's in my top 5 now. So
so I might not give a number.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Chalk King with the $2 super chat. Will you be playing the Avengers beta, Eric? I will. No, I'll not be playing the beta, but I will be playing the game. I feel like the beta's probably got a lot of bugs, and I don't like restrictions on story. And I hear it's heavily monetized. So I don't know. I will be playing it at some point, but not the beta. And that's probably what I'll be doing on my Twitch channel. So keep an eye out for that. Let's see. We got a few more. What are you going to say?
Chill.
Yeah, of course. Amir here with a $5 super chat. So during Brainwave's mind inception, no one crashed a car or plane. Probably. There was a similar, and I guess we'll jump into Stargirl here in a second, but this question specifically, starting it out, there was a similar, it was something else. I remember a movie or a TV show where something like this happened and they never addressed that. I can't remember what it was. But yeah, the idea that I think it was, I want to say it was a Marvel property. Anyway, that's definitely that happened. 100% that happened. but I don't think the show was. I don't think the scope of the story they were telling in this episode was focused on outside of just Blue Valley and the people in that little bit of in that area or whatever. And if it did happen, we just weren't aware of it. But I'm pretty sure it did. It just wasn't shown to us. But you're absolutely right. I would guess that's probably true. Any thoughts on this realism question here?
Not really, because we didn't go outside of Blue Valley.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm thinking.
Except at the end but California wouldn't have been affected. So,
and the only thing we really saw with Blue Valley was when Icicle was on Main Street and everybody was kind of walking in that.
It was either the football field or the Main Street. Where, yeah, I
agree with you. Yeah, it probably would have happened. I just don't know if it would have been like. I don't know if it would have been important enough for them to show it or not. We'll have to see. Think Noodle with a $5 super chat and a member of Team Airrick. Thank you so much. Hope you're enjoying my Lucifer series over there. By the way, if you guys are interested, I'm going to be reacting and rant reviewing Lucifer on the Team Airrick Join feature. I'll be doing one episode a week. I've never seen the series, so if you want to check out my first episode of that, go down there and click the button. The Warner Brothers DC layoff is sad, but to be honest, it might be good for DC and Warner Brothers brand, as it's been a mess for a while now. New leadership could help. Okay, so I will say this. One of the concerns people had with these layoffs, since we're going back to this for a second, is that everything was going to be Batman. It's going to be Batman this, Batman that, Batman this, Batman that. Occasionally Superman, occasionally Flash, occasionally Wonder Woman. But the print comics are literally just going to be Batman comics because that's what sells the most for them. Do you think that's going to happen, or do you think this is going to push them creatively based on this comment here?
I hope it pushed them creatively. Like the issue is that I wish DC would get more. And like I read comics, I've got Batman sitting there and I haven't read it yet, the James Tynion the fourth run, which started like, I don't know, I think it was issue 89 or something. I haven't read any of it yet, just sitting there. I've been paying for it, but I haven't read anything. Because I'm almost done catching up with Flash. But like I try to read, because there's this stigma, and I'm sure people might actually think this is the case. But if you like have read comics in the past, everyone thinks DC's, and like Deadpool memed it, like DC's this dark and gloomy thing. Back like in the 90s and 80s and stuff, it was the complete opposite.
Yeah.
Like Marvel was the edgy one. I just
had this conversation with someone the other day. You're absolutely
Marvel
right.
was the one trying to be edgy and dark, and even continued into the early 2000s. Like the Punisher comes along and he's this guy that's like pretty much a serial killer, and he's this hero. You know what I mean? So there's like, I would want, because I just want DC to get back to that thing where you can have Batman, who is that brooding hero and stuff. I'm not saying he has to be going around chucking a meme, flossing in the background and stuff. I'm not saying that, but trying to make everything dark, because it's not what DC is. DC's about like Superman's your main thing. Well, he was like the figurehead of DC, and what's his main thing? It's like hope. So make your comics hopeful. And I read Flash and stuff, and I think that's a good series where it dives in that dark stuff if it wants to, but for the most part, Barry's a hopeful character.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's what the thing. But then you look at the movies, and they make Shazam, which is this hopeful thing. Aquaman, which is this bright movie and stuff. When it goes, oh, you're trying to Marvel. I'm like, that is literally DC. That's literally DC.
If anything, Marvel made their movies like DC Comics and the way they're done, especially like Guardians of the Galaxy, things like that. Yeah.
But everyone wants this like, oh, everyone has to be like dark and gritty. And don't get me wrong, I like it when it fits the tone, fits the story and everything like that. A hopeful character can have that dark story. Like Flash can have Flashpoint where it's all dark and gloomy and everything like that. Then he comes across and he's versing the Trickster or something and doing zany crap.
Yeah.
They need to go back to that in both the media, which is happening, and I'm so happy it's doing that. Don't get me wrong, I like Batman v Superman. I really, really like Batman v Superman, but I treat it as Elseworlds. I've always treated it as Elseworlds because it's not the characters. It's just not the characters at all. But I'm just so happy to see that DC is going that. And the fact that people are turning down and saying, oh, no, we don't want this Shazam. We don't want this Marvel ties DC. I'm like, that is literally DC. And you don't realize that. And then you have the comics where, I don't know what iteration we're on, but like the fifth series of this metal stuff.
Yeah, it's been so many. I was in the shop the other day. I was going in to pick up like some old Constantine comics, the Hellblazer, the original run. And I saw they were still... Ones. What is that?
The ones that were under the Vertigo.
Yes, the originals. Yeah. So I went and got those. I got a bunch of those, but I saw that they were still running metal. Like on the shelf, there was all like metal.
Well, there's a
stuff,
new
and I'm
one.
like,
They got one called Speed Metal about the speedsters. I'm like, I don't want this crap. Just give me like the biggest sign that DC needs a complete restructure in regards to its books. I reckon either they go back to the original numbering, which a lot of them are, like Flash and Wonder Woman are on original numbering. They're like both on like 750 something. They need to go back to the core comics.
Yeah.
Why there's not a JSA comic going at the moment, I'll never know. How there's 3 different Justice League things. I think there's Justice League Dark, Justice League, and then Justice League Odyssey. I don't know if Justice League Odyssey is still going. It was like in space or some crap.
I didn't see that. I was just there the other day. I didn't see anything like that. So.
I don't know. I didn't even know if it made it past that issue 2. But the fact that there's that many Justice League things going on, but there's not a Justice Society of America, I'll never know. Like the JSA in the New 52 was the Earth 2 comics, which was a different iteration thing. Like it was a cool comic, but it was completely different. Like, I'll never know. They need to completely. They need to go back to basics and build up from that. So introduce your main members, stuff that's going to sell comics, and then build off from there. Like because people, like I find it hard to catch up. And I'm only focused on like a few things. I couldn't imagine someone that wants to not read everything, because I think that's almost impossible to do that each week unless it's your only hobby. It's the only thing you want to do in your spare time.
Right.
But I don't know how you can read everything.
Yeah.
It can't be that. Like if you focused your time and did 10 solid series, get 10 of your best writers, 10 of your best artists and everything like that, and focused on that, it's success, and you build up from that.
Absolutely. And the sad thing is, I think the animated features are good enough. You could take some of the people working on that and chuck them in with the comics and let them write some stories. I mean, why not? They're adapting what you have. Obviously, they know how to do it. It's just a lot of options. Shane Thomas here, another Team Airrick member. Thank you so much. He says, "Our legacy print comics going the way of the dinosaur? I hope not. I like tangible comics. I like the feel of the printed material in my hands. I think it's going to be similar to the way, like they tried to do what books did, which is where if you buy a physical book, you get like a digital comic or whatever, and that didn't do too well. I think if they're going to do prints, it's either going to be something like that, or we'll see a whole collection in like a trade paperback. So it'll be like digital issues 1 through 20, and then we'll get a print of the trade paperback, and it's going to be a collectible thing, and you'll have to buy it exclusively. You won't just be able to go to shops and get it. Because guys, here's the thing: if print comics go away completely, and it looks like that's the direction, comic book shops as we know it now will be gone. They won't exist anymore. They're going to be in a situation like GameStop, where they just don't have the ability to stay open. They're going to be very niche. You might be able to go buy like old comics and shops that stock up specifically on old comics. But if there's nothing new coming out for those guys, they're not going to be able to stay afloat. That's just the reality of it. So a lot of that will probably go online as well. Any other thoughts before we move on?
From what I heard, it's that they're trying to scrape out the single issues, but trade paperbacks and graphic novels will always still go to stores because they sell, because people go and buy that. Because I use the single issues on Comixology. I just get them and I just do the subscription thing where it comes in weekly. But it's something I missed out on. I could get the paperback, like the bundle on Comixology, but I may as well buy the book because I like the book. I don't like single issues. I freaking hate single issues. They annoy me. I know how people do them. I guess
we had that conversation the other day. Like we prefer when the whole run is done and just buying all of them at one time. Yeah.
Like so I think they're going to keep that going on, which I think is not bad because but I think it's still not good for the comic book shops because
they can't survive on just trade paperbacks.
Well, it's not even that. Just regular bookshops get trade paperbacks and graphic novels, so they'll go there. So it's like, and the thing is, those
you go to Barnes and Nobles here in the state and buy trade paperbacks.
Those bookshops can afford to sell them for like $5 less. They can afford. So let's just say it's $25. Now the comic book shop, if anything, the comic book shop might try and raise it to 28 or something just to make more money. Barnes and Noble or whatever bookshop will sell it for $20, $22 and cut a bit just so you buy it. So yeah.
So we got Chalking with a $5 super chat. This is related to Stargirl. We're going to move into that. We will talk about, if you drop super chats, we'll answer them, but we're going to try and move into the Stargirl episode. So this week's episode of Stargirl was the season finale. It was called Stars and Stripe Part 2. And it was an hour of just a lot of action. It was a lot more action than I expected. And we'll talk about that in a moment. Here, Chalk King with the $5 super chat. I honestly feel stupid for thinking that Cindy picked up was connected to Trigon. I never heard of Eclipso. Also, you watch Community. I do watch Community from time to time, but it's not something that I pay total attention to. Do you watch Community, Paigey? Not related to DC
I've
at all,
never
but...
watched it. Never
Okay.
watched that. No intention to it.
Eclipso is one of those characters where I've found that a lot of people don't really know much about this character. If they do, it's more of the newer version of him, not the one from like the classic comics. Did you realize that was Eclipso as soon as she picked up the gem? Did you know that's what it was?
Yeah, the Black Diamond, because he was in Suicide Squad only recently. He was in Supergirl?
Mm-hmm.
Trying to remember if he was in the Supergirl comic, but
I think so. Yeah,
I think he was in the Supergirl comic or something like that. I know he was in Suicide Squad recently. I'm just trying to remember if he was in Supergirl or if it was another thing.
Yeah.
Can't remember.
I've heard that people knew that he was going to be in the finale, or at least that there was rumors that he was going to be dropped at the end of the season, but I don't know. People might have just been pulling names out of their butt. I have no clue.
I think the big thing was that they made Yolanda Montez's brother Alex Montez, who is in the comics her cousin, and he becomes Eclipso. So everyone thought changing him to be Yolanda's brother was for a reason. It was because they're going to do Eclipso. Okay. So it's easy, but he only was in one episode. So yeah. The thing is, the fact that they did that, they could have called him Larry Montez if they wanted to. Right. They went out of their way and named him Alex. So
I guess they felt like they weren't going to introduce him as another character, so they figured why.
Yeah.
Not.
So the common theory was that, because pretty much since episode 4 was that Eclipso was potentially going to be at the end of this season or or at some point in the show, because they planted Alex Montez as Yolanda's brother.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is not related to Stargirl, but I want to go through the super chats that are on the screen. Captain J. Tim with the $2 super chat. So it's confirmed Warner Brothers didn't fire Ezra, then not fair. I think when this news came out, we pretty much knew they weren't going to fire him. I mean, I didn't think there was enough there for that to happen. And I don't think anything has really, I know some more stuff came out, but not enough for him to be fired, right? I mean, is there anything new that I don't know about from Ezra?
As soon as it went past like a week or two and nothing happened, I think it was dead and buried. Nothing was going to happen after that. Yeah. He had to probably do like an incident report, if you want to call it, to Warner Brothers. They probably rang him and was like, well, what the hell happened there? Right. But the thing is that like the girl that posted it and said that she hadn't been like, who was the victim, deleted the videos and the police didn't follow it. And she didn't press charges either. So the thing is that technically that nothing happened there, then Ezra technically, if you want to call it, didn't commit a crime. Yeah. So, and the also important thing is I've seen people saying related to like the Hartley Sawyer thing. It's completely different because Ezra Miller's the face of it. It's like if Grant had done what Hartley did, the Flash show wouldn't be cancelled. Grant would just get a talking to, probably go through a program, have to do a public apology and everything like that. He wouldn't have been fired, but Hartley wasn't the face of the show. So that's why it was, I guess, easier, if you want to call it, to get rid of him. Yeah. So it's a bit different.
Okay. Well, I don't want to dive too much into it because I feel like that story. I'm honestly surprised.
It's like old. Yeah. It's just like. So thank you because they released that TikTok thing. That's much it.
So thank you for the super chat. I never expected them to get rid of him, so it wasn't. I don't know if it's fair or not fair. I just didn't expect them to do it. Wave 876 with a $10 super chat. Thank you so much. He goes, "Hey guys, big fan of you both, but don't you guys think it was too easy of a win? The more experienced ISA lost to an inexperienced JSA. In the first episode, the ISA killed the JSA with ease." Do you want to take this one first, or you want me to take it?
Yeah, easy answer. That was 10 years ago. What have they done? And the 10 years have gone past since.
Yeah,
nothing.
Well, not only that, but they've been split up. They haven't even really been working together.
Yeah, they haven't worked. Well, they've just been split up, just living normal lives, pretty much settling down. It's like, the good example is, perfect analogy. Chuck a sports master in here. It's like a sports player. Imagine they played sports, did all this sports for 10 years, retire, don't play it for 10 years. Do you think they're going to come in and be world champions? No, they'll probably get bit off by the younger crop.
Yeah. I agree that sometimes it's unbelievable. And I think that there are times when the hero, but let's be honest here, right? when do the heroes really lose at the end of the season? This only happened a few times. They're not going to do it to the kids here, you know, in the JSA and fighting against the ISA. I mean, you had to know that was going to happen, that they were going to win, first and foremost. Secondly, is we have seen that the times that they did win, and think about it this way, with Icicle, that death was not them really beating him. Like, it just happened the way it happened. The whole thing with Dragon King, that was not them beating him. If you think about it, the only character they really beat was Yolanda facing off against Brainwave, because even Grundy wasn't really, he just left. There was no, he didn't fight back really. So yeah, I mean, you could look at it that way, but also I think the ISA underestimated the kids as well. So there's a combination of underestimation, lack of training, looking at the situation from a different perspective. I can see what you're saying. And if you feel that way, that's totally cool. But I think it was fine the way it happened. But thank you for the super chat. Laura here with a follow-up for the Ezra question. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because I didn't even realize he was going to be at Fandom. I looked at the list. I didn't even see that his name was on there. I don't think he's going to get any hate because I think they're going to be highly regulating what comes through the pipeline. What do you think? Do you think he'll get any hate in Fandom?
Well, it's not live. All of it's pre-recorded, I'm pretty sure. So his stuff would be pre-recorded, I'm sure of it, mainly because there's different time zones. So
yeah,
there's not a live chat. I think people think it's like a YouTube live stream.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. It's all pre. That's why they did the whole sending your questions.
Yeah,
thing. So they can literally filter.
So they can filter everything. Yeah,
yeah, and then go. Okay, here's a good. Will you be wearing a red suit in the movie? Yes, idiot. Yes.
Yeah. And Laura, thank you for continued support for Team Airrick. Another Team Airrick member here, Tom, with the super chat.
Damn.
Did you hear? What? I like to say thank you to the Team Airrick members. Did you hear a decision of Green Arrow and the Canaries has been made? I hadn't heard anything. Did you hear anything about it?
It wasn't a decision, was it? It was just that, like, it was something was meant to be made.
Yeah.
I think that was it. I don't think it was that a decision has been made.
I mean, if we're going to hear anything about it, it'll be at DC Fandom.
To be honest, who cares? Like, I
don't really care, but I mean, some people seem to be really interested in it.
I honestly care more about what I'm having for dinner. Honestly, that's honestly, and I'm pretty sure it's just going to be some chicken I took out of the freezer. I'm eating what I want to eat, and I'm like, I'm better off eating it because I don't know if it'll last until tomorrow.
Right.
I'm eating it right now as it's just defrosted. Right. I'm more worried about that and what I'm going to put on it. I'm thinking, let me know your opinions on this. A crack of salt, a good crack of salt, a good crack of pepper, sprinkling of paprika, and a sprinkling of onion powder as well as garlic powder.
That sounds delicious.
It does sound good. Maybe with a splash of olive oil to just mix it all in. Yeah.
We got a super chat here from Scott499. Thank you so much. He goes, do you think we'll get another massive crossover event with the Arrowverse Justice League eventually? Who is the stranger who is the stranger that's on Superman and Lois? To answer your first part of that, yes, we'll obviously get another massive event. I'm not sure which season we're going to get it, but I'm pretty sure they want to give us one.
Yeah, like the following season, not the upcoming one.
As far as the stranger on Superman and Lois, isn't that the person that was supposed to be like another Lex Luthor type character? Or is that something else?
It's meant to be, just like the Lex Luthor from Another Earth in the multiverse. Captain Luthor.
So we're going to see how that plays out. And I see a lot of questions, guys, but I'm trying to get through these super chats here. Quindolin C with the 499 super chat. I've missed a few weeks of live chats. Wanted to say hey and support. Stargirl was great. Can't wait for season 2 and the new ISA to form. Thank you so much, Quindolin. Yes, I've noticed you haven't been here. You're always quite chatty down there. So thank you so much for the support. And yes, Stargirl was great. We have so much to talk about here. Josh Z here goes, I'm not worried about CW ruining Stargirl. They don't write the show. Poetic justice for Joey. I love Breck so much. So yeah, Stargirl season 2, there seems to be a lot of people who are still worried about the quality of it. I think we need to just kind of chill. I think it's going to be okay. I might eat those words next season, but I have faith that the creative team is going to fight for what they believe in for the show. So
I've said it before. For some reason, people think that CW write the scripts or something like that. CW literally gives them the money. So here's the money for the show, and then when they finish the show, okay, let's put on this channel. They're pretty much the beginning and the end. They're not in the middle. So Jeff Johns is still in charge. The creators are still there. A good chunk of the crew, like behind the scenes crew and stuff, are coming back, and the cast is back. Like everyone was worried about, is Luke Wilson going to come back? They can't afford him. and then he said he's coming back. So the only thing that's changing is the budget. But you got to remember they spent a lot of the budget already. Like a lot of the season 1 budget is for stuff for the show to continue, like the suits, Stripe. They've built sets which are staying there. Even the some of the stuff in Blue Valley that they built stayed there. Like the town of Georgia where they did it, it stayed there. They didn't have to change it. So I don't know why this is concerned. And then it also turns into this thing where like, oh, I wish Flash would get 13 episodes. I'm like, they don't get 60 episodes. They don't get 60 million, then they can make as many episodes as they want from 60 million. They get it's how many episodes you do, depends your budget. So if they do half the episodes, they get half the budget.
Right.
Anyway, I think people are freaking out. They're freaking out without thinking in regards to the CW.
And I see some comments where people are saying that CW will still have some sort of influence. I mean, obviously they will. But if you look at a show like Black Lightning and you look at shows like what was I was thinking of another show a minute ago and it totally left my head, but shows like Black Lightning where they break that CW formula and they really tell a different kind of story. With those kinds of shows on the network, you have to believe that Stargirl is going to come in.
And look at Supernatural, its longest running show. If you watched it, you wouldn't say CW.
Right.
And so what's it on, 15? It's been running for 15 seasons.
Yeah.
Like, hello. It all depends creatively. And it's the same with the episode numbers. Like, if you're a good showrunner, you can make as many episodes you want, it'll be a good story. But if you're a bad showrunner, I mean,
look what Eric Wallace has done with The Flash.
Yeah. So, the thing is, like, and everyone gives season 6 a hard rap for The Flash, but it had so many breaks because of COVID, and then it didn't get to finish its season.
Right.
Like, I think if season 6 finished, everyone would be fine with it because you got a good first half. It was contained in the second half story. Got 2 seasons for the price of 1.
Yeah. So Hood Rat Pat here with a $4.99 super chat is the actor that played Tavon on Black Lightning playing a comic book character on Stargirl. So I just looked it up. Yes, Jason Jabbar. What is that?
The character's now like Brian or something like that.
Yeah. So it's he's playing Brian Tanner Balloyd. I think that's the name on Stargirl. Yes. But you have to remember she's not in the same universe as Black Lightning. So it's totally cool to do like another character with the same actor, I would think. Okay, here we go. Another Stargirl question from Wave876, another $10 super chat. Thank you so much. Should Brainwave, one of the most powerful members of the ISA, have gone down so easily? And besides the plot and heroes always winning, Jordan seemed a bit repowered compared to the early episodes he killed. I guess we didn't get the rest of that. Maybe. So, all right. I guess you mean depowered instead of repowered there at the end. So I was shocked. Like in my review, I talked about things that surprised me and things that didn't surprise me. I was actually surprised at how Brainwave was killed off in the episode by Yolanda. I get the whole concept of that scene, but yeah, it was a little weird, but Brainwave was also right in front of her. And so he put himself in a very vulnerable position, and he was using some of his power to project an illusion into her mind. So he was already focused on something. So everybody can make mistakes. I think Brainwaves is a character who's not a physical character. You shouldn't be that close to somebody who is a physical character because you leave yourself open to being attacked. We already saw what happened with the Cosmic Staff early on. So every time he gets close to a character, he gets hurt. So this is what happened with that. Any thoughts on the whole Brainwave thing?
Yeah, I don't know why people are debating it. He was close to her, and he was also using his powers to illusion cast. He wasn't using his powers to come to. It's not a very big multitasking thing. His power set, so he was focusing on illusion casting himself as his son. So as soon as Yolanda started thinking, "Oh, you're lying," and then pulled out the claws, he was stuffed.
I mean, she's a physical character, and she's really fast. So
yeah, he put himself in an extremely vulnerable position. You know what it was? It's similar to what we were saying before. It was them being cocky and overconfident. Because he thought he was going to fool her, and she realized, hold on, you're not who you're saying you are. # throat slice. So,
but on the flip side of that, I do think that Icicle was a little depowered in his last scene against Stargirl. I don't think he was at the level we saw him like in the earlier episodes, like episode 3. He seemed like really, really powerful. But you could chalk that up as him being upset and not on his A game. But I don't know. Any thoughts on Icicle? I think he did seem a little deep.
Was he on his like overpowered in episode 3? Because the only reason he did what he did in episode 3 was because he luckily landed on the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
Like he got #fisted by Pat,
yeah,
or by Stripe, and
yeah,
like it's not like the fight against Stargirl was his over thing. Like that's Stargirl. What?
3 episodes in, 2 days of Stargirl. 3 days of Stargirl. Yeah,
Stargirl.
Okay,
So,
that's fair enough. I'll take.
Like
that.
I don't think he was like. I don't think actually the most like big thing that Jordan did was probably killing the wizard.
Right.
And that's just because he's, I don't like, it was just like,
I feel like the wizard didn't expect him to do that. That's why he wasn't expecting him to do that to him.
No,
so
the wizard was going to kill Icicle. I think it was more threatening. And then all of a sudden, him just going to the threat and ended up with Jordan killing him because Jordan took it as obviously a threat.
But I will say that, I mean, I do feel like between the two of them, we're talking about Brainwave and Icicle. I feel like that Icicle didn't sort of do what I was hoping he would do, I guess, there at the end. But, we'll see. Tom here with the $2 super chat. Is it fair to say that Cameron?
Tom didn't want to pay more than $2. You can tell by that super chat.
Is it fair to say Cameron
Gelman? That's the actor that plays.
Was the MVP of this? Thank you for the $2 super chat. I appreciate it there. I would say by the end of the season, he was one of my favorites. Yes. I don't know if I would say he's the MVP of the season. I think I really enjoyed of the episode. I mean, actually, Mike was the MVP of the episode, but
Mike was only in one thing, which is.
But that was a really important scene, though. It was a really important one.
I'm trying to think.
I don't know. I think everybody did a little bit.
I would say Courtney.
Yeah,
I think
she destroyed the tower. She flew.
Yeah, I would say even Pat. I probably have Courtney, then Pat, then probably Rick.
Yeah.
That's probably my rankings, yeah.
I'll say Wave 876 with another super chat, $5. Thank you so much for all the support tonight. Last question. How is Starman alive? I'm calling multiverse theory. LOL. Just kidding. Thanks for answering my questions, Eric and Paige. Well, thank you for your super chats. How is Starman alive? That's the big question for next season. I don't really we don't have much to go on, really. I mean, I'm thinking he is actually Starman, at least that much I believe. How is he still alive? I don't know. Is there something from the comics that I'm not aware of from the Stars and Stripes?
In regards to Sylvester, Sylvester Pemberton's dead by the time Stars and Stripes happens.
Right.
I have a feeling because in that you have Jack Knight. Jack Knight was the current Starman at the time, but they're not doing any of that like Starman mantle legacy sort of thing in the show. Right. We don't think they are. Well, at least the cosmic staff went away.
Right.
Got freaking hair in my mouth. Okay, it's gone.
Okay, good.
I couldn't talk. But they have. I have a feeling they're putting this. Sylvester Pemberton's going to almost play that Jack Knight role, which is more of a mentor, and teaching Courtney a bit more. How, in regards to how he's alive, I wonder if he just never died. I wonder if the staff, like it was just like when he gave the staff to Pat, it was just him passing on the legacy because maybe just because they thought he was dead, so he can go on and live his own life. Because the thing is that one of the things we don't see completely the whole death thing play out properly, like you saw with like Joey. We know that he had a funeral and everything like that, and we saw the wizard literally get frozen to death. I'm sure they'll explain it. I guess the big question is whether Pat knew he was alive. Because I'd actually be interested going back and watching this season whether Pat officially goes over like what he's like when he's saying that.
Are you going to? I'll probably watch it again all the way through.
I'm going to rewatch it. I want to see what Pat's like whenever he mentions Starman and says, "Oh, he's dead," and all this stuff. So I'll be curious because from what I know, Jeff Johns knew pretty much that like how the season started and ended. So he would have known that Starman obviously comes back alive at the end. So I'm sure Luke Wilson might have known that as well when playing Pat, never mentioning it as well. Because there's nothing in the comics that goes in regards to that. The only thing that's in the comics that could tie to it is stuff with Eclipso, which plug alert. I've uploaded a video recently over the past couple of days.
I saw that.
Star Wars season 1. Star Wars? Stargirl season 1 ending explained.
Star Trek season 1.
Eclipso, Starman Return, and The Shade. Go watch it. Like, subscribe. Yeah. There you go.
All that good stuff.
Fuck it.
Gary Gambit, the 190 super chat. How are you? And are you mad at me? How are you guys? And are you mad? No, well, I'm good. How are you, Paige? You good? You good?
I'm good, but I'm
Yeah.
furious at you, Gary. I am absolutely furious. I am livid. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to give any details.
Oh,
because I'm
Jesus.
so furious.
Well, I'm not mad at you, Gary. I'm not mad. So don't worry. Do not worry about that. Okay, so is this gonna be a breakup in messages here?
Hold on, Tom.
Yeah.
Those first 6 words.
I know, and it's probably gonna get me demonetized there.
Yeah,
It's probably
you
gonna
just
get me
demonetized
demonetized.
I'm
I'm not even gonna say it. You guys can see it on the screen.
Please say, because I'd love to.
No, I'm not saying that. Never driven before. Another $2 super chat. Let's see. Blue Valley to conveniently run over Icicle. All right. And when he's about to kill and laugh it off. Great. Okay, so we're talking about the Mike situation. Let's see. Shane here. Mike killing Icicle is questionable. No one seems bothered by this kid killing someone. All right, so this is where I stand on this. And I'm gonna put my feet firmly in the sand on this one. Okay.
In the ice?
I firmly in the ice on this one. So I did not really like Mike for most of the season. Towards the end, he became more tolerable because I think he was learning about what was going on, and we could see that he was very frustrated with how his dad was spending a lot of time with Courtney, which if you go back and you watch the beginning of the season, I think you'll see, if knowing that this is his acting out sort of had something to do with that. At least that's my opinion on that. That's number one. Number two, as far as him killing Icicle, I don't necessarily have a problem with that particular death scene. Like, I think it's fine. I know some people don't like that Courtney wasn't the one that delivered the killing blow, but there's 2 reasons why I think that happened. Number one, they didn't want Courtney to be someone that kills a character.
Yeah.
That's number one. Number two, if they gave that scene to Mike while he's made of ice, it makes it a funny scene. And that way Mike takes that brunt of, Courtney not doing, something bad or whatever. My only issue with it is, and this is the only problem I have with it, it's kind of a big problem, but it's still a problem, is we spend a lot of the season with these kids who are training to be the JSA. And one of the big things is that they don't want them to actually hurt anybody. Like, they don't want to be the ones to kill people or whatever. Like when Yolanda killed Brainwave, that was a big moment because the conversation between her and Courtney was like, she was accepting that she did it. And it was a moment, right? But Mike kills Icicle and there's no conversation about it whatsoever. That's got to be something that like, is he going to go the rest of his life knowing that he did this? Like, it just seems like something really important that wasn't taken seriously and wasn't covered properly, from my opinion, for the finale. Now, we may see this covered in season 2. Mike may be dealing with the ramifications of this in season 2. I don't know if he will, but from my standpoint, I don't think it was necessarily a funny moment, but it did feel a bit like it was kind of, taking the piss out of the audience with that moment. What do you think about that?
Oh no, I'm interested to see whether they have any sort of ramifications for Mike. I really had no issue with it because I thought it was karma that Jordan got hit by a truck just the way that he killed Joey. So yeah, I thought it was just like, cop that. Yeah. How do you like that?
So you don't think that there will be any kind of like PTSD situation with Mike or anything? Because he literally killed someone. So I mean, that's like,
well, the big thing would be mainly, I think, if Cameron finds out,
right,
Jordan's son, and I could see that being something where Cameron goes after Mike next season,
right?
As like, oh, I found out who actually killed my dad. It was dude with the truck and the dog. Yeah. So I could see that happening, which wouldn't surprise me.
I just wish that because the scene between Courtney and Yolanda was a moment where she had just killed someone. So it was a scene that deserved that breath that it took. But then when Mike did it, it was like there was no real chat about like, okay, so we need to have a conversation about this. There was nothing. And I do believe that a lot of that had to do with the fact they didn't want Courtney to actually kill a character. So they kind of just pinned it on Mike, which is fine. But I think that's kind of what, I kind of where I was with that. We'll see what happens next season, because literally it was like at the very end of the episode. Gary here with the 190 super chat. Do you think the Wizard will be back for season 2? So if you mean the one from this season, like the one that was frozen, probably not, and not his son. We may see another version of the Wizard, but I don't think we'll see the one from the season. Right? Is that right? Or is there...
unless we got a big defroster, and he hasn't got like a freezer burn yet, then we might be able to get him back, but probably not.
Staggervore with the 190 super chat. We might see a major Arrowverse appear next season.
I'd assume that means maybe Arrowverse character, but outside of that, I don't know exactly what it means.
Yeah, I think if Stargirl crosses over with any show, I'm gonna say the Flash, probably.
The biggest issue is that next season where Stargirl's probably going to premiere, it matters if there's any overlap with Flash.
Or if they're even able to travel and film, because they might not be able to do it.
COVID's definitely going to stop it. If it's going to be anything that's going to stop it, it will be COVID rather than the actual release schedule.
Captain J with the $2 super chat, is that real Starman or someone from the ISA? I mean, I'm going to assume for now it's the real Starman, but it could be someone from the ISA. I mean, we don't know for sure, but you have to think who's left in the ISA that would be out there running around that could look like Starman or wouldn't know where Courtney is, because I think everybody in the ISA is aware of the Courtney situation. But yeah, any thoughts on that at all?
I forgot the question. What was it?
Is that the real Starman or someone from the ISA?
I'd say it's a real Starman. I don't think they'd bother with doing some fake stuff.
Oh, here we go. Anthony Beltry with 190 super chat. Let's debate Flash season 1, Stargirl season 1, or Arrow season 2.
You've literally listed it the way it is.
Yeah.
It's Flash, then Stargirl, then Arrow season 2.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. Yeah, for me. But thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Let's see. Are we through with I think we're done, or we're caught up on super chats. Unless I missed something. But I don't think I did. So let's talk about the something that's going to be fun here. Look, Vasily says something about complaining about Tom paying $2, which I think was totally a joke, but okay, whatever.
Actually, thank you for complaining, Vasily, because it reminded me. In the future, can you not go on other people's streams and say I spoiled the Stargirl finale? People were screenshotting that and sending it to me when I didn't do that. So don't do that again and try and get me in trouble. Danke Sean, thank you very much.
Oh my gosh.
And that's what you call a verbal floss.
I didn't even know that was going on. So I'm just going to step back on that one. I didn't even know that was happening. So let's talk a little bit about the CGI and the VFX, because I want to talk about this.
God. No, just Captain J10's super chat just then. Did you see it? The Shazam TikTok with Zachary Levi? The guy at the end, everyone was sending it to me saying, "Is that you?"
Now I'm going to have to go look at it.
It's on the DC Comics Twitter. It's like a TikTok thing. And at the end, everyone thought it was me. Spoiler alert, it wasn't.
So spoiler alert, it was not Paigey there. Okay, gotcha. So I want to talk a little bit about the Grundy. I'm trying to find the scene that I wanted to use, or the picture that I wanted to use. So I was not happy with the Solomon Grundy CGI. I think it was very, I don't know. It wasn't great. It wasn't the worst I've ever seen, but it wasn't great compared to everything else we've had on the show. Like, I think all the other CGI on the show had been really good. I think Grundy just felt too much like a video game character, I guess you could say. And unfinished. He looked unfinished to me in parts. And I love the fight between him and Stripe, because they both are obviously CGI, so it worked. But just the rest of it was really, I had hoped for something better than that. So, yeah. What did you think about it at all?
Well, there's edgy tag number 1 for the stream. It took us a while to get there. It took us 54 minutes to get to edgy tag number 1 from Good Old Eric.
All right.
I thought it was good, except when they did the close up of his face. I was like, oh well, shouldn't have done that. It's like, you know, when they do, oh, what's the example? Supergirl did it. I'm trying to remember what episode it was. Supergirl had a really good CGI on something, and then they just, oh, what was it? It was something, and then they did a close up and it looked terrible.
I mean, this is bad. Like, there's no way to
yeah, but I think it's fine in motion. That's the thing. I think it was fine in motion. It's when you start taking screenshots, you can do anything with any TV CGI and it looks bad. But I think in motion it looked fine. The only thing in motion that looked bad was the close up when like Rick's about to like smash his head in with the big boulder thing or whatever it was. It didn't look good then. Everything else I thought looked fine, if not good, for TV. But it's when you like, if you screenshot it, of course it's going to like look good because it's obviously just CGI. But in motion, I thought it was fine. It's just like when they do the screenshots and stuff. Like, let's just be thankful they didn't do what's the freaking show? Gotham Grundy.
No, I agree. The Gotham Grundy was the worst. Absolutely. No question in my mind about that one. I just think that the show, this is the problem with how good Stargirl has been, is I expected something a bit more highly rendered than this, because I would say this isn't even at the level of like modern video game special effects. I think it's very much under that bar for me. And you're right. Yes. In stop screens, it's much worse, but I would say that it's probably around the same level as like Legends VFX in places here. I mean, it wasn't that great to me. And I know that's, again, that's a tiny thing compared to the whole episode.
Well, hold on. I've got the, I can share my screen. Give me 2 seconds. Because this is the, this is the actual concept art for him.
Right.
There's my mouse again.
I still feel like that doesn't look real enough for the show to me.
Well, that's the thing. It's not, but I think that's exactly what they were going for.
Yeah, maybe.
That's why I don't think it's like anything about being like not being rendered and stuff like that. Like, that's what they were going for. And you can sort of tell that from episode 1. Like, he looked weird when he came out in episode 1. He looked all dangly. That's probably the best way to call it. Like, a bit weird.
Yeah, it was just it was weird to me in general. Like, I guess I was expecting more from that special effect, but it wasn't the worst. I just wanted to point it out because I think out of all the episodes we've had, all the special effects we've had, these were clearly the ones that felt like the least polished for me. And maybe it was intentional. I don't know. Let's see. We got a super chat here from Gary. A DC fandom, can we see a Flash and Supergirl? I don't know what that's supposed to be. I think we're saying trailer maybe? Promo teaser?
I don't know.
I think it might have been promo, is what he said.
Maybe it was potato.
I think, like we've talked about this a little bit before, I think we could see something from the Flash, but absolutely nothing from Supergirl. I don't even think the Supergirl cast is going to be there, from what I've heard. So I don't know.
But 2 people, Melissa Benoist isn't showing up. So
yeah.
The thing is that like fandom is going to be like ridiculous in regards to, it's going to be the most DC you've ever gotten at the thing, because there's always been that issue where at Comic-Con they never do a specific DC thing. It's always bunched in with Warner Brothers. Like, really, the team always gets it because they get their own panel. They get 45 minutes each show, but like Warner Brothers as a whole, in the movie side, always gets like an hour, and that's it. So it's going to be interesting because it's going to be much bigger than anything they've done at Comic-Con. It's going to be bigger than Comic-Con, really, to be completely honest.
We have another super chat here from Staggervore, 499 super chat. Thank you so much. This weekend, the producer of the Canary spoke on the show's status. Don't remember much of the details, but let's just say it's still in limbo. So, again, I don't really know. So I'll make this very clear. You guys can ask about it all you want. I honestly don't care if the show ever comes out. That's just my honest opinion. I love Black Canary, Laurel Lance. You know, I guess the Dinah Drake is okay. She's not my favorite, but I hate Mia. So I don't really care if the show comes out in its current state. If there was going to be a show that was going to come out just focusing on Laurel, I probably would be interested in it. But I don't know if they are confident that Laurel could hold a show as the title character. So there we have it. I think if Laurel did a show, it would be a Laurel and Dinah show, but I don't know how they're going to tell that story when they've set up what happens in the future. So it's just kind of one of those things where they've kind of painted themselves in a corner a little bit, I guess. I know you don't have any opinion on that, do you, at all?
Yeah, I was going to say, I didn't think I'd be thinking about my dinner twice in the one stream.
Sci-Fi George with a $10 super chat. Thank you so much. I think Brainwave put his essence into Wildcat's subconscious. I like to know what they did with the Fiddler's Corpse in their home. Dragon King has to have regen. Sportsmaster's Rick, but Rick greater than Grundy. WTF? Okay, that's a lot to talk about, but we haven't talked about much of that at all. So we can go into this for a second. As far as Brainwave putting his essence into Wildcat's subconscious, I don't see how that would be a good story for season 2. I just don't. It's possible, but where would they go with that? How would they make that work? What do you think about that? Any thoughts on that possibility?
I don't even know what you would do with that in regards to a story. Like, you got Eclipso there.
Yeah. I'd like to know what they did with Fiddler's corpse in their home. Well, we don't know who found Fiddler's corpse because we didn't see the follow-up to that. We just saw them like months later at Christmas time, I think. I think it said like was it weeks or months later at the end when they
6 weeks later, I think.
6 weeks later. So yeah, okay. So yeah, about a month is what but yeah, I'm assuming that'll all be covered in season 2 as far as that. Dragon King has to have regen. Well, I don't know if we're going to see Dragon King again, unless it has something to do with Cindy's story, but it seems like she's moving on to Eclipso. Do you think we're going to see Dragon King again or no?
Well, he's like, I've seen people saying that, like, oh, he lived all those years, he should be able to survive. Like, he was immortal, he wasn't invincible. Like, he just was able to live a long time. It doesn't mean like if you stabbed him, he's not going to die. So I guess we should be led to believe he died. I know that Jeff Johns would only confirm that Brainwave was dead, though. Someone like, they asked him in an interview, can you confirm deaths? And he's like, the only one I can confirm is that Brainwave was dead. Okay. So yeah,
Icicle could still come back, guys. I guess there's a possibility
he can melt into a puddle, then chuck him in the freezer.
And as far as Sportsmaster versus Rick or Rick versus Grundy, I thought exactly the same thing you did, because I've complained about this before about the Sportsmaster versus Hourman thing. But the only reason I'm not mad about the Rick versus Grundy thing is it was pretty obvious. Even Rick said it at the end of the fight or towards the end of the fight. Grundy wasn't fighting back, really. He wasn't really defending himself. He wasn't fighting back against Rick. And we don't know why. I mean, I'm assuming maybe he knew that was Rick's parents. Maybe he understood what was going on. I don't know. But even though Grundy was getting beat up, it's pretty clear that Grundy could have like mopped the floor with Rick, but he didn't. So you have to assume that Grundy just wasn't fighting back. Would you agree with that or disagree with that?
Well, yeah, because Grundy, like, not in every comic, but in a lot, like, he's just thought of like a tool that people use. Mm-hmm. So if there was no like intent or need to really fight Rick, then he was never going to do it. But I like an answer to that. Like, Sportsmaster and Grundy are different opponents. Like, Sportsmaster is a more technically skilled person, while Grundy is literally just a hunk of muscle. Right. So it's different. Like, Rick's not very good technically, but he's got the strength to take on Grundy as well.
Are you ready for the worst comparison ever, but the greatest comparison? You ready for this? Coming from a Marvel shill. So Grundy has always been seen as Grundy, like a drink from Starbucks. But Grundy has always been seen as, like, in a lot of ways, the Incredible Hulk over at DC. Like, they've always tried to make them kind of similar. I don't know why, but they always.
Mr. Shill, Grundy came about 20 years earlier than the Hulk.
No. I don't mean that. I mean
hashtag L for Marvel, hashtag Shill.
I don't mean that Hulk was created before Grundy. I mean, like, Grundy is a character that in a lot of media is treated like the Hulk, but he's a different type of character altogether. But he's more like,
he's like, he was born in the green. He's like where Swamp Thing is.
Yeah. But I'm saying, like, when people see him or they perceive him, he's usually treated like a big, brooding, hulking character. Like, he does. They don't try to give him a better story than that usually, unless you dive back into the older comics or you've read something specifically about him, which is far and few between. But the reason why I'm getting to this is, if you think of him that way and the way they had him sort of portrayed in the series, and you think of like Hulk versus a more skilled fighter like Thanos, who isn't as physically powerful as the Hulk, as most people would say, he was able to beat the Hulk in Endgame. Spoilers, by the way. He was able to beat the Hulk in Endgame, or because he was or Infinity War, whatever it was. Those two movies kind of blend together for me. I'm a shill, but I'm not perfect. He was able to beat him because of the fact that he's a more skilled fighter. So you see there that even if somebody is all muscle and all power, if somebody is more skilled, then they are able to beat that person. So if Sportsmaster isn't as physically powerful as our man, he's still a more skilled fighter. Thus, he should still be able to beat him. And we talked about this before with like the Wonder Woman Superman thing. Like Wonder Woman can hold her own against Superman in a fight, basically. Not like some huge, like crazy Superman, but just Superman versus Wonder Woman straight up. Wonder Woman is a more technically skilled fighter than Superman, at least in most media. So she's able to hold her own against him. So I feel like there is, like you said, there's a difference in opponent. And it comes down to sometimes speed, agility, fighting capability, and the fact that Grundy wasn't fighting back. So there is that. But, Sportsmaster, I feel like in the show, they hyped him up to be like this super, super skilled fighter. Do you think they ever really achieved that with him? Do you think he felt like he was everything that was that he was promised to be?
Well, to an extent, yes, but it falls in line with the rest of the ISA where they've been dormant for 10 years.
Yeah.
So it's hard to really, like, it would have been interesting to see more of him maybe in that opening fight, but it was a lot of like moving. But then again, I think he was versing our man in that opening fight.
Yeah. Gary with $1.99 super chat. Courtney has only really been Stargirl for 2 months. Yeah, I mean, I guess so, chronologically. I wasn't really paying attention to the date. I've just assumed week by week was usually a week apart, except for the ones that clearly were connected by days. So, I mean, I guess you could say so. I don't know. Most first seasons are literally like just a couple of months for these characters, typically, unless there's a time jump. Tom with the $2 super chat. Do you think Ezra will apologize at Fandom? I'll be honest with you guys. I don't understand this obsession with the Ezra situation. I really don't. It's not like I agree with it, but clearly DC and Warner Brothers doesn't really care about it. So, I mean, why would he even address it? What do you think about this?
I just don't really care, to be completely honest.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. Is there some like movement? I'm not following the stuff. Like, I'll be honest, I'm not a huge fan of Ezra Miller to begin with. I'm not like this. I know he's got a huge following. I'm not one of the people that like goes out and sees everything he does or whatever. I think he's all right in terms of his acting and everything. But I mean, I don't really want him as the Flash either. But I don't think this is enough to get him taken out of the role. So not sure if he would even like acknowledge it, honestly. But thank you for the super chat. Let's see here. I'm going through, see if there's anything else I want to talk about. So before we get to the ending, the big stuff at the ending. So we know the Fiddler setup. We have that. Do you think that's going to be addressed next season? Do you think they're definitely setting that up, or is it just something they threw in there?
Yeah, I think pretty much you're going to see those three younger ISA members start to grow of Icicle Jr., Artemis, and Fiddler. Or Fiddler Jr., whatever they want to call him.
Yeah. So here's Double Crit, and this I think people are mad about it because of the Hartley Sawyer thing. Dude tweets offensive stuff immediately can. Dude chokes a woman, nothing. I don't know how many times we have to say this. The person in the video has not pressed charges. The person in the video has not come out and said anything about moving forward with any of the stuff regarding Ezra Miller. So we don't know what was going on. And if the person that was in the video doesn't want to address it, doesn't want to press charges, I don't know what you think they're going to do. Like, I don't know. I'm not saying I agree with what he did. Didn't say that. Didn't say that at all. I'm just saying that the facts are this. They're not pressing charges. Warner Brothers hasn't said anything about it. Ezra hasn't said anything about it. It's not going to matter at the end of the day. I think. So I don't know what you guys want from me about it. I really don't. No, we're going to talk about Ruby Rose. We still got time for that. Yeah, we still got time. The let's see. So we had Shade at the ending, setting up next season, which seems like it's going to be a really cool, like magic type thing for next season. And we have obviously the Starman stuff. And what else are we setting up? Eclipso. So it looks like season 2 is setting up to be a really strong season for Stargirl. You know what I mean?
Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, obviously these are pretty big plot points. So they have a lot to cover in season 2, but I think the show did a really good job of setting it up.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, like I think I saw people complaining, oh, they spent like so much of the episode setting up, but I was like, that's what I loved. It let you know where the story was going.
mm-hmm.
It didn't like just feel like it had to like do everything at the end, at the beginning of next season.
Right.
It just felt like we can literally pick up from episode 1, and I'm intrigued to see where they pick up with in season 2, whether it's literally straight after that point, or whether we pick up and it is like maybe 6 weeks after that Christmas dinner or that Christmas lunch, whatever they're having. So
right.
I'm interested to see where they pick up in season 2.
Yeah. So where is it at here? I guess we'll just go ahead because I think we've pretty much exhausted everything from my thoughts on Stargirl for the finale. Really enjoyed it. Thought it was a very, very strong finale. And I'm happy to see another great season of comic book television come to a strong ending. So there we have it. You guys in the comment section, drop your score for the finale of Stargirl and let me know what your thoughts are on it in the comments. I want to see if we get some edgy 5s and 6s, because I know that's gonna might see some 5s and 6s down here. 10, 8, 9, 7. Ooh, Victor D. Chinchilla with a 7. That's the lowest I've seen. A lot of 8s. Wow. Kilographs a 4 out of 10 on the episode. Wow. A 2 from Potato Man. Wow. The edginess. Elizabeth gives it a 1. Laura with a 9. All right. Think Noodle here with a $5 super chat. Thoughts on Doom Patrol finale? Did you see James Gunn said there was 0 interference with the Suicide Squad? Do you think it will be amazing? Thoughts on Doom Patrol finale is what a ending, because it was not supposed to be a finale. And so it set up like 2 or 3 really big things that were supposed to be wrapped up in the final episode. And just like The Flash, so you have to wait until next season. But I enjoyed it.
Mate, it might not get renewed. Who knows? No one talks about it. That's
right.
To be like, meme aside, I don't know if it's going to get renewed. I would think it is, based off the fact they have a DC fandom panel, so it's going to be awkward.
Yeah,
that they have that and don't get renewed. But I'll tell you why. Apparently, no one watches on HBO Max.
Yeah,
so that's a big concern.
We'll see. We'll see what's going to happen. I know some people really, really love that show. Did you see James Gunn said there was 0 interference with the Suicide Squad? Do you think it will be amazing? So first of all, I love James Gunn's movies, so I'm expecting it's going to be pretty good. But I will say this. I hate this kind of like pandering, because why would you make a point of saying that in advance? Because it almost seems like a dig at David Ayer. It seems like a dig at Warner Brothers.
Or at least the Ayer cut did.
Well, I mean, why would you say that? Like, this doesn't make any sense at all. And here's the thing. Just by any chance at all, if this movie comes out and it's not great, he will walk back all of this. They always do. He will walk back this statement. Every time we've seen someone come out and say the studio didn't interfere, they didn't have anything to do with the film, and then the film isn't well received or something doesn't come out the way they want, all of a sudden stuff comes out. Either on set problems, script problems, production problems, studio meddling. It's always something. So these kind of statements to me feel like it's pandering. And I don't like when they do this. It's sort of like when someone does a TV show that's brand new, season 1, and they come out and tell you all of these things that they're doing it for. We're doing it for this, we're doing it for that, and we're, appealing to this demographic and this, that, and the other. Like, why would just promote the thing on what it is? Like, it's just, I don't like this kind of pandering What do you think? What do you think about this? I mean, that's just how I feel. And I feel like it's just almost setting himself up to have to walk it back. That's just...
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why you'd tweet that out. The only thing I could see them interfering with him, though, that would annoy him would be whether he wants an R-rated and they said, no, we want a PG-13. That's the only thing I could see major-wise happening there.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I think they wanted James Gunn to do this movie. So I think in a lot of other cases, they're not desperate for a director to do a movie, but they got James Gunn when he was down. It was like, well, this is our time to strike. So I don't think they would mess with it because it's actually what they wanted.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't think there'll be much interference outside of the fact whether they decide on the rating, which he disagrees with.
Yeah. I hope that it's great. I do. I like James Gunn movies, so I hope that it's great, but I'm just going to say that if it doesn't come out great, expect to see like all kinds of excuses. 199 super chat from Gary Gammon. Do you think race will be the first episode? What? I don't understand the question. The first episode of The Flash?
I think he's trying to say Ralph.
Oh, will Ralph be in the first episode? No. Harley's gone. They will just completely remove that from the episode altogether. So if that's what you're asking, then yeah, I don't think so at all. Any other super chats here before we move on and talk about the Batwoman news? Make sure I didn't miss anything. I don't think so. You know what? StreamYard, please fix your super chat thing. I know I keep asking every single week, but it's really, really annoying. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about I'll talk about S.H.I.E.L.D. in a second, Jose. Ruby Rose. So it came out that a while back, when she quit her role as Batwoman and sent the internet into a tailspin, either good or bad, depending on what side of the fence you fall on. We were told that it was a combination of just her decision because of, not wanting to commit to being there for the entire time. And she just didn't feel, I guess, it was the right fit for her to continue on with the series. And there was all kinds of comments about why it actually happened. And I'm sure you guys all remember that. So she stepped down. Well, it came out now that she made some more statements, and this is over at Deadline, but I'm pretty sure if it's at Deadline, it's pretty legit. And I'm pretty sure it's been covered by a few other places. I think I saw it on Entertainment Weekly. But she was saying that it had to do with her injury, her back injury, and how quickly she went back to work. Okay. And because of the pandemic and having time to really think about what she wanted to do with her career. And she said there was a mutual conversation with the creative team over at Batwoman on what they wanted to do. And that's why she decided to actually step down from the role. I still think there's probably more to it, personally, but this could be it. This could be the only reason why. Do you think this is everything, or do you think there's still more behind the scenes for Batwoman?
If I'm being honest, I don't really care. I'm sort of over the whole Ruby Rose thing.
I mean, I am too, but there's still
because to be honest, if it's there, it's never going to come out.
Right.
I think there's stuff they didn't get on with the cast and not the cast, sorry, the crew. But I don't think getting any specific things where Ruby threw a hot coffee at one of their faces and something like that. I don't think you're going to get anything like that coming out.
So you don't think when the new season debuts and we have a new Batwoman that there might be some leaks about, oh, she's better than Ruby because she doesn't do this and do that? Do you think there's going to be anything like that, or
not really? I think it'll just be I think they cast Ruby. They probably got halfway through the season, realized it wasn't what they thought it was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And they just took the opportunity when they could to go a different direction. I've always said this, it's pretty obvious that they realized they stuffed up and they really couldn't fix it when they had to make a new character, when they just didn't recast Kate. That would think that's said more than anything. If Ruby leaving was truly it's just it was Ruby's decision to leave or something like that, they would have just recast the character because they faced no choice. But it's obvious is that they realized it wasn't working. They've got rid of Ruby, but now they're stuck in this position where it was hard. They just wasn't going to work, so they had to create this new character to take over, which I think it's not a terrible idea. I think the smarter idea would have just been to recast, because I think you're still in the same predicament, and like it's still the same level of difficulty in regards to making it work. If not, it's less if you just recast. But now they have to introduce someone that's not from the comics, somehow make every character that's still on the show relevant, because it doesn't seem anyone's going. Megan Tandy's going to DC fandom, so she's not going. I don't know if Julia Pennyworth, that character, is still going to be there, because it seemed like the only reason she was there was to be in like a love triangle with Kate and Sophie. I don't know what they're going to do. So
I will say this, though. I think that Javicia is going to be the best thing that's going to happen for the show. I'm just predicting it now. I think that her character sounds much more interesting than what we got with Kate, honestly.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. I think she's definitely going to be a more, for the general audience, I think a more likable.
Yeah, it just sucks for the Kate Kane story, because that's what they wanted to tell. But
yeah, that's the biggest issue they're going to face. Is I think no matter what, the first, I'll just say 3. It could be more, it could be less. Like it could be 2 episodes, it could be 4 or 5. But I'll just say 3. Those first 3 episodes, they're going to be messy. There's going to be no way around it. They're going to be messy, because they're going to have to kill Kate or remove Kate, whatever, however you want to word it, off the show without Ruby. So how they even, and then they have to transition Alice and freaking Tommy Elliott disguised as Bruce Wayne potentially into this storyline with this new Batwoman. They have to somehow make Sophie and potentially Julia still relevant. Right. The only characters which I think are easy, I think Alice actually falls into this, but I think the easiest ones to fold into it are obviously Luke.
Yes, absolutely.
And I actually think Jacob Kane, because he can actually blame his Batwoman for.
And this Batwoman is not his daughter, so that makes it even better, I think, in that dynamic or whatever.
And then, like we've said this before in the stream, the actress who plays Mary is the luckiest actress alive, because they brought her into the Batcave literally 2 or 3 episodes before the end of the season.
So now she's the doctor for Batwoman now, and that's
imagine if someone imagine the person with Corona got on the plane 4 weeks early.
Right.
Yep, she wouldn't be in next season.
So we got a few questions here. So this is interesting. Cullen's comment here, the interesting story of a drug runner. I guess he's talking about the Ryan Wilder character. So would you say the same thing about, like, I don't know, Oliver Queen? He was basically a murderer for his first season. So, and that was an interesting story, because it dealt with the complexity of the character.
It depends what they do, because they have to give her, like, they've given her the whole backstory where she's had this troubled past, which I don't know how much we're going to see. Right. I don't know if it's going to be more referenced, but obviously they've set up the whole thing where her mother was killed by the Scarecrow. So I don't know whether he's even going to play into this season. I saw like one of those stupid websites when Scarecrow confirmed for season 2 villain. No, not out there. So they just, I guess, heard the backstory and just pushed that forward.
And I mean, that's something that she's not going to be doing that for the season. That's something she's going to be dealing with dealing with the repercussions of that. Like, we're not going to see her out there being Batwoman selling on the streets. Like, that's not going to happen.
Oh, so, you're not going to see.
That's what I mean. Like, that's just, it's not going to happen. So
no, you're not going to see the drug dealer disguised as Batwoman.
Right.
Instead of taking out criminals in the shadows, she's shifting packets.
Tom here, he goes, I know this is old news, but do you think Wallace replying to Cameras about fandom means Krypton or Batwoman nude? Also, old news, have you also read the fandom fact? Sounds cool. So I'm not sure what's going on with Krypton. I didn't even watch season 2, but I've heard it was pretty awful. Did you watch season 2 of Krypton?
I watched the first 3 or 4 episodes of season 1, then gave it the old drop.
Okay. So I don't know if it has enough support to actually be news about that. As far as Batwoman, I would suspect we're going to get tons of Batwoman news at Fandom, just for the record.
I think you're going to get a first look at her in the suit. I think that's the big thing they're going to show.
Yeah.
And then maybe some other casting potentially.
Gary with 1-9 super chat. If Corey was not, think would Flash be back this? That's cut off, Gary. I honestly don't. I have no idea what this question is.
If Corey was not, think would Flash be back this?
I think he means the virus. If
Corona was not a thing, do you think Flash would be back? Oh yeah, it'd be back normal time. Every show would.
Yeah, all of them would. Yeah. So if you mean back this fall, then absolutely. Let's see. Vastly here. Kevin Conroy complained, just like Michael Keaton did, that he didn't know anything about him playing Bruce other than he's in the future. I saw Michael Keaton and I thought it would be an interesting question, but I don't really understand what this is in reference to. But I thought it was Batman/Batwoman related, so that's why I clicked on it. But I don't get the context, I guess. All right. Let's see. Gamerman X9000. I have a Smallville versus Arrowverse tournament going on right now on Twitter. Shout out to Gamerman's Twitter. If you want to be a part of it, Kat McNamara liked one. Eric Johnson retweeted one. I'll check it out after this. You can at me on Twitter and I'll look at it, see what's going on. What? How's that funny?
Is Eric Johnson the dude with the Comic-Con badge mix?
He is the one that I have with his name on it. Yeah, it's almost like a little souvenir, I guess.
You want to tell people that story, or are you leaving that for another day?
We'll do it another because I don't have it in front of me, so I'll have it. I'll do it next week. Oh, speaking of, we never even talked about that. Big changes, I guess, to the after party next week. All right, listen up, guys.
Wait,
if you are here every single Tuesday, if you like to come to these live stream podcasts, okay, if you like to come and be a part of it, we're going to be broadcasting about an hour. What? Broadcasting about an hour earlier than what we normally do every week.
Maybe 2 hours earlier.
Yeah, it's going to be at least what?
Yeah, something like that. I don't know.
I'm just going to say the time is going to change. So pay attention to the notifications next week, because when I upload the thumbnail for the video and the schedule and everything, it is not going to be as late as it normally is. The reason why is because I always waited till Stargirl was done to kind of start the show, but now there's nothing on at that time. So the show will start earlier. And since it starts earlier, it may go a little bit longer, because I always try to keep this at about an hour and a half because it's a later show. So it will start earlier. It's still going to be called the after party for algorithm purposes, but we're literally going to be talking about news and information, and we'll probably play some like interesting quizzes or rank seasons or something like that. We'll be doing stuff every Tuesday continuously, even though we don't have anything for pretty much the rest of the season right now, but we'll still be doing after parties, so you guys can definitely stop in or whatever. But yeah, we're going to start a little bit earlier. Any thoughts on this, Paigey? You were making jokes, so I thought I missed the joke earlier.
I think I'm all good.
You're all good? Okay. yeah, Canary. Yeah, right here. It makes sense since there won't be a new show anymore. Yes, there's no new shows for the rest of the year. When Swamp Thing is out, we'll probably talk about that, because that will be on the CW or whatever. So also, I guess now we're going to be talking about DC Fandom next Tuesday. Or
what we could do is, because I know what that preview thing is, whether it's like taking up the hour or if it's they're just like there's going to be like a 5-minute ad break where they chuck in the middle of an episode. I'm sure, because it didn't say a time, it just said August 18th on that promo. So hold on, shut up, Eric.
We're not going to be talking about political stuff, Canada Graphs. No, not happening.
God, American politics is all over the joint.
Yeah, not going to get into that.
Anyway, let's not jump into that.
All right, I'm pulling out my. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm looking at the. Oh, I'm an idiot. That shouldn't be a surprise to anyone. Okay, next week. Next week on a Tuesday, the 18th of August. Whose Line Is It Anyway? Is on at the time that Stargirl was on. But there's 2 episodes, so I think funnily enough, the first episode is the guest person is Candace Patton. So I think after that first episode, they might have the DC Fandom thing in the middle there, which would be what 8:30 East Coast and Eastern time. Okay.
So we might actually be live when that's going on.
Well, we might go live we should go live, reckon, straight after that hour finishes. So that would be 9, I think, your time. I think.
Yeah, that's fine.
If I can think about it. I think I'm correct. Yes, I'm having. Oh, my brain's bleeding out my ear.
I know. I'm waiting here. This is the anticipation of this.
It's epic. I can imagine it being a massive troll. You sit there away, and it's like Grant Gustin flossing, saying, "Check out fandom this weekend."
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay. So people were asking me about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. before we go, because we're getting close to the end here. I did not do a review last week of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I don't plan on doing a review for it. What I'm going to do is after the finale, the 2-episode finale on Wednesday, tomorrow night, I will do a full season overview of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. season 7 and give my thoughts on everything. It'll be an extra long video. It's probably going to be like, 30 or 40 minute video where I talk about everything from this past season and like my whole thoughts on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. in general. Also, I'm going to be watching it and recording my reaction to it.
Whoa.
Yes. The reaction for the episodes will go up on the Team Airrick feature, the join button. So it'll be there if you want to go watch that. That'll go up at some point this week, but the overview video will come out by this weekend. I'm going to leave questions for you guys on the community tab. So look forward to that. It's going to be really good. We have a couple more super chats before we go. Stagger4 with the 1-9 super chat. 2 weeks of Batman movies on Toonami starts Saturday. I have all of them. So I don't have to watch them on Toonami, but if you don't have all of them, this is great information. Thank you so much, Stagger4. You guys can check out the Batman movies on Toonami as of Saturday. That's really good. And the other super chat here is Gary Gammon with the 1-9 super chat. Is The Flash getting delayed later than January? It's going to be delayed until next Christmas.
I can confirm that. If not 2022, so
maybe 2023. Maybe it moves to HBO Max. Maybe possibly.
Maybe Disney Plus. And
just kidding.
We're paying $50 for it.
Just kidding, Gary. No, we don't think we won't know if it's getting delayed later than January until we get updates on the filming schedule. And as of right now, no changes. They're just waiting to get this stuff taken care of with the Canadian Actors Union. Tom with the $2 super chat. Do you think Val Kilmer at fandom means the Schumacher cut? I
don't care.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. People seem to care a lot about the Schumacher cut. I'm not a big fan of his work, honestly. He's not my favorite. So edgy. Is that edgy enough for you? So if it comes out, that's fine. If not, that's fine too. If people really want it, I hope so. Me, doesn't really matter. We'll have to wait. We'll have to wait and see. Let's see. Hold on. Wait. Hold on. Did I click on? Was that all of them? I think that's all of them. I think that's it. Wait, Candigraphs, put your Lucifer reaction on Patreon. YouTube won't let me join your YouTube. So what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to upload it twice. Because right now the way YouTube's join thing works is if you put it in the members only tab and I link it to Patreon, you still can't watch it. And I realize that. So I will have to upload it again and then directly link it to Patreon, and it will be out by the end of this week. So if you're on my Patreon and you are waiting for my Lucifer reactions, this week you'll get 2 of them. So yeah, because it'll be
double trouble.
Episode 1 and episode 2 by the end of this week. So we'll see. All right. Yes, I know Lucifer's coming out soon. The season 5. I'm going to try. So this is my goal. Are you ready for the magic of are you ready for the magic of the internet here? I'm going to try and watch as much Lucifer as I can and record my reactions to them so I can get as much of it done before the next season comes out. So that way when I'm watching next season, I'm caught up on all the previous seasons. That's a lot, actually, but that's what I'm going to try and do. But then I'll still release them like timed out for you guys, so you're not getting like 50 reactions all at one time, because I don't think you would want to see that. So we're going to do it like that way. That's how it's going to work. Eric, did you watch Last Airbender, Legend of Korra, since it's coming to Netflix? I've watched them all. I love them both. So there we go. Live reaction to what's up?
Reminder, or a bit of a notice. Forensic Files 2 came out. Started watching it. Came out on one of the streaming services over here. Yeah, there's a bit of an update. Just thought I'd chuck that in there.
Okay, all right, great. So I have 2 dad jokes ready. How many do you have?
Two. One's a bit how you going in regards to maybe being a bit. Actually, one's literally a dad joke.
Okay.
But both are fairly edgy.
Okay. So
you go first.
So you guys in the chat, we're gonna do something new tonight. When I tell my joke, you let me know if it's a dad joke or just a bad joke. You do the same thing for Paigey. So dad joke, bad joke. All right, that's what we're gonna do. Do you want me to go first, or do you want
you go first? Because I got two and you got two. So
all right, so here we go. Here we go. Dad joke or bad joke. First one. The shovel. What a groundbreaking invention.
Wow, that's terrible.
Dad joke or bad joke?
That's dad joke. That's dad joke. Yeah,
okay. All right.
It's not it's bad, but it's a dad joke.
Okay. All right. Okay. So it's now it's like, oh look, it's bad dad. That's a double one. A dab joke. Bad joke. Awful, just bad, just horrible. Okay, it's your turn. Go for it.
Okay. When does a joke become a dad joke?
When
it leaves and never comes back.
Was that a dad joke or a bad joke, guys?
Or a hashtag epic?
I don't know about that one. That's like that one's pretty hardcore. That hits right at home right there. You know, dad went out for a pack of smokes and never came back. Oh, look, Fresh Sounds Florida says it's edgy. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's an edgy one. I see a rad joke.
Rad joke.
Cookie Dough says epic.
Rad.
Epic. Cookie Dough says epic.
I agree. It was epic.
All right, here we go. All right. Ready for this one?
No.
Why couldn't the motorcycle stand on its own?
It's something about only having two wheels or something.
Because it was too tired.
Too tired.
Too tired. Dad joke or bad joke, chat? Tell me.
That's just a bad joke. Just a bad joke.
I'm thinking it's a dad joke still, but it might be a bad joke. I don't know.
You're not ready for my next one.
Okay, all right. So, all right, go for it. Here we go. Here goes Paigey's.
Oh, I'm just going to yawn before I say it. Okay. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Catholic priests. What a touchy subject.
Oh, gosh. Right, go ahead. Might as well get it over with. Just get it over with. Come on, here we go.
Oh, I already said it.
What did it say it again?
Catholic priests. What a touchy subject.
Oh, geez. I didn't even catch that. I heard the Catholic priest thing and I just immediately tuned out. All right, guys. Dad joke or bad joke? Dad joke or bad joke? Just let me know. Let me know. All right. I saw another super chat here. Can we have a live reaction to the Fandom teaser? If you mean the one that I just saw, probably not. If you're talking about the one coming up next week, we will probably be live or live shortly after the teaser. So
monetized. Monetized.
Yeah, always. All right. Thank you guys so much for coming in. Don't forget, next week, the time will be weird. I will upload the thumbnail with the schedule on it well before we get started. So look for that. Check out my community tab Thursday for questions about my Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. video. Please support these videos. I will say this. I love Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I love talking about it. The thing is, I get so many people asking me to make those videos, and then the algorithms tell me and everything tells me that people just aren't watching those videos. And I know I'm seeing comments on them and they get some views, but they're not getting the same circulation as the other videos. So if you really, really like those videos, please click on them and please support them so that the numbers will reflect that for me, so I can make sure that I'm doing the right thing with my channel. Also,
update.
Go ahead.
The Fandom thing goes for half an hour. It's at 7:30 on Tuesday.
Okay. Yeah. Sounds good.
So maybe we can start even earlier.
Okay. I'm good with that. I can stream. If we start earlier, I could stream even longer. So we'll see. But
epic 4-hour stream.
Yeah. Another thing is, I forgot what it was. It's got another thing and I completely forgot what it was.
Was it the... I won't say it.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Shane, for that, by the way. Thank you so much. Once again, if you guys are interested in the join feature with Team Airrick, it's going to be the Lucifer reactions. I'm going to be reacting to another show. I haven't decided what it's going to be yet. And you're also going to be getting, like, you've got behind the scenes stuff. There's reviews for animated movies. I'll still be doing those. So make sure you check that out or whatever.
Are you gonna tease your new series, the Flash inspired?
Oh, should we talk about that?
Yeah,
for the people that have stuck around. For the people that have stuck around. Okay, so starting, I think I'll start next week. Actually, it is next week.
Oh, epic!
It is going to be next week. Okay, so here's what I'm going to be doing, and it's not going to be just the Flash, but the Flash will be the first one that I release on my regular channel. Just going up in place of reviews, I'm going to be reacting to the top 5 worst rated episodes of Arrowverse shows. And we're going to start out with the Flash. So that means I'm going to look on IMDb. I'm going to sort it from the lowest scores. So the lowest scores are the ones at the top of the list. And then I'm going to react to those episodes, going back and watching them, so I can submit myself to the torture of watching like the worst episodes they have. And I'll be doing this for most of the Arrowverse shows. Okay. So if you want a preview on what I'm going to be watching, go to IMDb, look at the show, and then do the list by worst. The top 5 are going to be the worst.
Well, we can give a spoiler. The worst rated episode on there is, of course, Daddy Loves the Metal. Love is a Battlefield from season 6. That's the worst rated episode of all time.
Right. So this isn't going to be this isn't going to be sitting through me like reacting to the whole episode. I'm going to watch it, record myself, and react to the stuff that makes me so mad. And then those are going to be the clips that I upload to the video.
Laura just said the musical episode. I forgot that was in the bottom 5.
Yeah.
Eric has to rewatch the musical.
This is going to be so painful. I'm not looking forward to this at all. But what we're going to do is I'm doing that. And I think, have you started your best episode videos?
3 episodes deep, I think. I got the
okay.
4th.
So this is an inspiration from Pagey, because Pagey has a series where he's going back and he's watching the top 5 best episodes from the Flash right now, right? That's what you're doing, is the Flash?
Yeah, the Flash.
Okay. All right. So he's going to be doing the best. So I'm going to be doing the worst. And it's going to be so much fun for you guys because I'm going to go off on everything, I'm pretty sure. But that'll be starting next week. So the first episode of that will come out next week, and expect at least 1 video a week from that type of stuff, from all that stuff, whatever that is.
I personally am looking forward to the Arrow one, because Eric has to rewatch. I think they're all from season 4.
Not only that, but I'm sure they have Cupid in them.
Yeah,
and Cupid is my least favorite Arrowverse character. The least favorite. I hate that character.
I know in the Arrow one it has the Cupid episode, and then the one with the bees.
Oh, you go to IMDb, you look at the ranking for the shows, and then you just sort by score. That's how you do it. So yeah, it's going to be pretty awful. So get ready for me to be in pain, because I'm going to sit through these episodes that I've only ever watched one time, and I've never wanted to watch them again.
Honestly, because it's so torturous, this honestly could have gone up on OnlyFans, because it would have been a fetish.
Oh God, it's going to be so
if that
bad.
didn't demonetize the stream, I don't know what will.
Yeah. Well, Pagey actually sent me a link to the episodes. I'll read them out to you. I think he sent them to me just the other day with like the list of like the Flash ones.
I think I sent a screenshot.
Yeah, but you sent it to me. I just have to find it. Why is Twitter having a hiccup right now?
I don't know.
Yeah, I can't get it to work.
I don't know.
So I'm going to say this now. In the top 5 is that I know of is Run Iris Run, Love is a Battlefield, the duet,
Girls Night Out,
and
the other Black episode.
Yes.
Harry and the Harrisons.
That's it. Yeah. So the Wells episode or whatever.
Yeah. The Council of Wells.
Yeah. All of those are episodes that I have only only watched one time.
Once. Are you sure? I thought Run Iris Run was like a
No, I don't even think I watched
therapeutic.
that all the way through. I don't even think I watched that the first time. The only
Hold on. Do you ever wake up in a nightmare sweating with I'm your super friend?
Yeah, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be so bad. No, Tom, the stream is not gonna be 2 hours. We're actually 14 minutes over the normal stop time. So this is where we're gonna wrap it up. That was a preview of what I'm gonna be doing while the shows are off. So you'll get at least one episode of those a week. That will be like a good series. I think people are gonna love it because they love seeing me rage and rant. So we'll see.
You should call the series Road to Mental Breakdown.
You know what's funny?
1.
Somebody mentioned Legends, but Legends episodes are actually not that low rated. Like even the bottom of the list.
Sevens. I think there's one that's in the 6s. I think it's like 6.4.
Yeah. Like Legends. Like I looked at Legends, and Legends is the one where like I don't even know if I can do this because the one. And actually, I think I looked at the lowest rated Legends was, and I'm like, these are not the worst episodes.
I think Arrow is actually, funnily enough, also in that as well. I think Arrow's got a lot of 7s.
The 3 that I will be doing for sure are going to be Flash, Supergirl, and Arrow. Those are the 3 I'm doing for sure. We'll see after we're done with those, like if there's any more that I can do. Call it rant and rant. I don't know. We'll see what we're gonna call it. So anyway, we're pretty much out of here. Thank you guys so much for coming in. I think I got all the super chats. I hope I did. Thank you guys for supporting the channel, for watching the videos. Don't forget to give me a like, leave a comment if you didn't see this from the beginning. Come back. It'll be ready to go in just a bit. And thank you, Cal, for showing up every year as the associate producer.
Hold on, that's not me. I'll get my portrait up.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. I'm waiting. Oh, okay, there we go. Thank you for so much for joining us. And
no worries. I am the associate producer, Caterpillar from the Snyder Cut. Thank you.
Oh gosh, we will see you guys next week.